Renowned are from your Welsh guys. Right, so what we're going to do today is we're going to go to this web address. You're going to fill in your username and password, and we're going to log in as you. Right, for the moment, I've restricted as much as I can here. We'll give you more access as we go along, but for now, let's just work with the basics. These you can obviously hide, you can do what you want with them. Best way to do it, screen options. You don't need to know about WordPress events. I'd be loath to leave all this kind of things, these things here, and just have a quick draft, or maybe have a bit of SEO when we activate it. But for now, this will do. You want to keep it as basic as possible. Right, so for the website, we've got this new interface. So you've got your options here. You can configure a few things here. This little button in the top right hand corner is to preview the website, and it'll open it in a new window. So it's very handy. So if you want to go to a certain page, you can view details. And then obviously you've got the edit button up here. So going back here, what we'll do is we'll go into pages, view all pages. Right, so you might turn around and say, all right, we've got 36 pages here. You've got 36 items, and you've got 2 pages. But what we're going to do is override that just for the moment, and I'll probably put that to 100 just to be on the safe side. Okay, so if you feel that you need to show the SEO title, key phrases, and then hide certain features, go ahead and do it. For now, we'll keep that as it is, which is basic. Apply that. Come on, up. Well, finally. So what we've got here is the About Us page. Now we've got a variety of ways of working with it. If you want to duplicate the page, hit clone. What you're going to find is if you're saving the page and nothing's happening when you go to preview it, you need to clear the cache. What we'll have at the top of the website will be a clear cache button when we finalize everything. But at the moment, we've switched off all the caching because you want to see the live data rather than sort of like compressing it, putting it into a little package, and then everyone gets to see it at super fast speed. So what we're going to do is click the About Us. We'll go in here. Right, so what you used to see is the Gutenberg editor, which is like that, where you would type everything out and insert images. Just ignore Alexa. But what we're going to do is we're going to stay in the WP Bakery builder.
Good evening, Paul.
Oh, hang on. Alexa, stop. So we're going to go back in here. And this gives us the WYSIWYG editor where we can drag and drop. Now, if you can see here, the top left-hand corner, it shows blocks. This is the principle of the way the system works. So what I'll do is if I just move this here, I can grab that, I can drag it wherever I want. Yeah. So this makes it a little bit easier. If you want to add an image, you can go in here, add a single image. And where the image is there, right, let's edit it. Come on, edit. Oh, there we are. Right, so what we'll do is go into the library, click, we can select images to upload. If I cancel that, you can drag and drop an image on. If I grab one, we can put one there, or we can select some that we've already uploaded. What we've done as well is put everything into categories to try and keep it nice and tidy, otherwise you're going to have 50,000 photos in one big folder. So for the About Us, For example, we've got staff. Where's Mr. Dermot? Can't see him. There we are, we pick Sam. Now obviously you've got your SEO, alt text and title. I tend to put the two of them the same. If you've got the time to write two separate ones, brilliant. Now what I would suggest is to make each one as descriptive as possible. So don't put, don't bloat it with SEO tags, because Google is a lot more intelligent now, and you obviously know about AI. So AI will be able to determine what this is. So if we describe it properly, then I think it'll perform better on Google. Yeah, put in the odd word, you know, rather than tour, just go cycling tour organizer, or whatever you want in there. Go with that. And what you do then is you select the image and it'll get in there. So you can see the hints here. So we don't put it in as thumbnail. We'll either put the dimensions in, or we'll say set it to be large, or if we want to be the full width, if we've already optimized the image, we put in full. So what we'll do here is we put in full. Do we want a caption with it? Well, that's up to you. And you can do all the alignments, left, right, everything else. Okay. So you can do other things to it. You can give it a border. You can do border radius. If I do 20 pixels, save changes. And if I preview that, let's hope it works. So we've got Sam there, and it's on a 20 pixel border radius. Now you'll see that he's on top of this image, and we've got picture Sam, then we've got text on the right. If I close that and go back here, you'll see the text is there, the picture of Sam is there, but the way that we've designed it is that, can you see the image there? And here, this is black. So what we've got, each item, whether it be a row, so this here is a row, this here is a column, or sorry, a row, and then we've got a column here. So the column here, if I go and edit the column and go in here, and I can change the image for the background image. So the way that we've developed this is that this column here is a background image. This column here is text, and it obviously is embedded within a row. This is how we design things in web design, but with this WYSIWYG editor, it just makes it so much easier for customers to just drag and drop and add whatever you want, whether it be a piece of text, a photo, whatever. So down here, you can see the row had a background color black. This column is a background image, and this column is text. Forget Sam's photo for a moment. But if I were to shrink this down to see what it would look like on different size screens, you can see that the background image stays there and eventually crops. So that would be on mobile, for example. That might be on laptop. If I do switch it to mobile for you, there we are. You can see that that's how it would load. Yeah, we'd probably pick a different photo and maybe centralize Dermot in it. So you can see that this column now comes up first, and then the second column comes up second. But when you switch back to desktop, it's compatible with desktop and mobile. So this is why so much effort goes into the web design aspect. As you can see here with Dermot's photo, it was cropped for mobile. If I get it back. So what we could do in theory is change the photo or crop the photo and have Dermot central. If he's central, it'll look better on mobile. So what we tend to do is we tend to aim for images that have got a central area of interest. So that way on both mobile, desktop, you know, whether it be laptops, so if we were looking at one that's that wide, it would always look half decent. You know, that would be something like an iPad portrait, iPad landscape, and everything will scale accordingly. Right, going back to this, let me just undo all that. Yeah, I've got an undo button here. Or what I can do is just refresh the page for now, because we haven't saved anything. Right, so again, I won't bother with the main text area. I'll just pick one of these. So what I want to do then is to add something else. So well, maybe a piece of text. Let's add that. So that's the text block there. I can move it on top, I can move it below, move it to the side, do whatever we want with it. We can, when we go to edit it, we've got design options. Again, you can make the background colour of the whole block. Change that colour. Save changes, and it will look like that. There we are. Okay, so we can fiddle around with the padding to make it like this button, so we could add 20 pixels padding, top, bottom, left, right. We could do all sorts with it. Okay, let me just close that again. So you may be struggling with this because you're sat there going, bloody hell, you know, how am I going to learn this? So what they've got, if we scroll to the top, we've got the front end editor. So we're currently working in classic mode, where we get to see all these lovely little grids, which is so much more accurate to work with. But front end editor is something where you'll prefer to work with. But to be honest, we tend to toggle back and forth because this is slower than classic mode. But what it allows us to do, you know, if I want to add something here, text block, let's give it 20 pixel or 17 pixels. Now that's for top, that's for all the way around, but what I can do is simplify it and do it like that. So by ticking this button here, you apply it to all of them. Otherwise, what we can do is put that as maybe 5, 5, 50, 50. Border radius, yeah, come on. Let's put some borders on a background. Ooh, let's go for a nice green. There we are. Do we want a border? Yeah, let's go for no, let's go for a purple. Purple and green do clash, but they'll work. Close that, and here you are. So with the border, I forgot to set the, put that 5, 5, 5, 5. Save changes. Close. It didn't work. No. Border solid. There we are. Bear in mind though, when we do this, normally we have to hand code everything. So this is much quicker. And when it comes to web design, you always hit and miss whether it'll work or not. So you can do that. You can move this, just grab it, move it up there, grab it wherever you want. You could even duplicate it. Do another one there, another one down the bottom. So to get rid of it, there and there, Bob's your uncle. So if you're struggling with, maybe you're trying to drag something across and it's not quite working and it just won't click, what I would suggest, go back to classic mode, which is, where have we gone? Back in the editor, there we are. Make sure you save it first, and then we go back here. Okay, and obviously similar to Inverness House website, if you want to roll back, you've got various different revisions here that you can revert back to. Okay, and then you just restore this version. I'm not going to fiddle with that. In fact, I'm not even going to save this page. Right, so cycling holidays. Exactly the same. So we can select one here. Or what we can do If I open this page, let's go and pick one. Uzbekistan. There we are. Ooh, that photo needs changing. So we're going to select the tour. We've got all this lovely information. So we've got all the statistics here. 7 out of 10, 7 days of cycling, blah, blah, blah. Tour features. We've got the main content of text. We've got the photos, dates and prices. We are going to be bringing in the dates and prices from the old website. So the back end admin section of that, we're going to tweak that so that you won't need to see all the product data of the tours. It's another conversation, but cut long story short, this is the front end that we're working on, and the back end that you use on the old website does all the PDFs, all the customer emails and everything. So we're not going to fiddle with that right now because that is a major head spin. So don't worry about that. Okay. So we want to edit this. We've got accommodation details, essential info. Yeah. Ooh, there's a lot of ChatGPT icons and ChatGPT coding there. Key places, itinerary. Yeah. So everything's there that you can fiddle with. But what we're going to do is we're going to edit. Click the button up here. It's the easiest way to do it. Go to the page you want. Click edit. Just edit the cycling holiday. Exactly the same principle. Okay. But what we've got here is we've got rid of the WYSIWYG editor because we want every single tour. Well, this is Kyrgyzstan. We want every single tour to have the same formatting, so everything looks consistent, hence why you're restricted to something like this. So this is the main text area. Let's get rid of yours. We don't want that for the moment. In fact, let's put that up there. Well, so all the statistics, do not touch this. This is to do with the old booking system. So when a customer decides to click to inquire or to click to book, we have to throw codes to say this is tour number 36 in the old database. We've got the same with the countries. Each country has a country ID and it's basically linking to the old database so that the bookings will go smoothly. So just look, don't touch that. Right, is it active? Yes or no? Great. It's on the website. Is it a new tour? No. If it's sold out? No. But if you tick these, you'll end up with, we just go back to, let's get Uzbekistan's the easiest one. There we go. Right, so you got a little tag there as a favourite. Is it new? Update that. Oh, we need to be on a faster server. This is painfully slow on our servers. Here we are, and it should be marked as new. If not, I'm going to speak to Lee about it. There we are. New. Yeah, so we got these little features for you. Take that back. Is it signature tours and is it a favourite one? Yes, and it can be highlighted on the home page. So here's the statistics. Same as on the old website. Is an e-bike available for this tour? Yes or no? Because things like these are what are going to be used in the filtering. So when we're up on the old tours, if I click that one, when we come here, there's going to be things like, you know, tick for a box for e-bikes. But we haven't activated that on the search yet because nothing's populated. Okay. So say this is a Cambodia and I don't know, Laos. So if you wanted to say for it to show in both, you just click there and just give it, you know, allow. There we are, and add that. If you don't want that one, just remove it. But it's great for multiple countries. Difficulty level, is it difficult, challenging, or moderate? There is a score next to it, but you know, you guys might say that, you know, it's a 7, but you know, it's challenging, not difficult. Right, so we've got a tour map for mobile which we need to upload. We've got tour map here. The tour map for mobile will be a square one. So what we would normally do is go in here, go into, was it Uzbekistan, isn't it? Go in there. Click the folder, it expands. And we've all got the one map there, but we'd upload a second map and use that. If it's an itinerary photo, we would go in here, pinch images from the itinerary, photo gallery. So we've kept the images separate. If you do want to create a new folder, select the one you want. In fact, you can right click on it and you can click new folder. Okay, so this image management is so much better compared to the standard one. If you go for the standard one, you know, you've got 1200 files and you're sat there going, well, which image? So then you have to search, so you have to go, I don't know, now, oh, only one. Right, it's because we've called it, you know, cycling holiday in Laos, or it would be, I don't even know how many images we've got for Laos. But you know, it depends on what we've called them. If I were to go in, have we got Laos? That's probably why. It's probably just a category image, that's why. So if I go Uzbekistan, there we are. So all the Uzbekistan ones come up. But if you notice, we've called it Cycling Holiday in Uzbekistan, Cycle Uzbekistan with Redspokes, you know, Cycle Holiday in Uzbekistan, oh, that'll be for the gallery, Uzbekistan Cycling Holiday Tours. Some of them might have vacation on them because the Americans. We've got Uzbekistan rainfall, temperature. A lot of them we have sort of renamed to be completely different. So they might talk about, you know, cycling. You know, I mean, that one hasn't got the alt text yet, but this one has. Hang on, where was it? Is it that one? There are. Holiday accommodation. So we've called Uzbekistan Hotel 2. The file name isn't as important. You can have whatever image you want, but I prefer to have the country name in it for the tour. But the alt text, just make it, you know, make it descriptive. We haven't gone through these. I did say to Lee, look, leave this till after the site is launched. You are cycling along the plain amongst the mountain regions in Uzbekistan. So having something like that that describes the image does make a big difference. Well, I think it will, because the way AI is going, it'll be worthwhile. Right, so the featured image is, is not here. The featured image is here as a static image. But as soon as you go to the gallery, there's our images. There we are. Oh. Has he broken that? These are rotator images. Oh, hang on. That's why. I wasn't on the tour page. There we are. So these are the gallery images here, which are these ones here. You can add a new one, add image, and then do the usual, you know, just select the image and upload it. I won't go into that because it's pretty straightforward. So this is the main image rotator. If you don't have any, it falls back onto the featured image. You have to have a featured image because when you post this page to Google, this is what Google picks up. If you post it to Facebook, the web address to Facebook, it'll pick up this photo as the key photo. So this, you know, it is a featured image. You can remove it, you can replace it, but it is the most important image when it comes to sharing the page on social media. So we got the main rotator here, which are these images here. We've got the photo gallery here, which are these photos here. Okay. There we go. Let me go back. Right, okay. So I've jumped a bit there. Go back to technical info. So we've gone through all that. You've got the overview tab. So again, this is just the basic description. We've put details in here and what you need to write. And the tool features. So here we've got a star. And this is a star. If you want to tick, obviously you can change it or cross. But what we've done is we've included this as a nested bullet point list. So you can see the number 1 here, which is this whole area. If I add a new group, I can go daily tool features. You're gonna have a cross. No, have a tick. Let's go on the first one. Star. So we'll have a tick. And we'll add a couple of items. Let's go. That. Not. Sam. Right. I haven't done anything to this, so I should be able to update it. Now this should have updated by now. This is because you're on us, and it is slow. Refresh that. We've got a new one. Okay, and that's in there. So I'll just remove the whole lot. I could remove them one by one by doing that, but instead I'll remove the actual row itself. There we are. We're back to the original. Update that. Okay. So that's the overview tab. Itinerary. So if we go to the itinerary, very, very similar process. So you've got your text. Okay, that's part of the text. And then what you've got then is an image on the right. I think we should have a couple that have got both. No, we haven't got the altitude. Some of them have got the altitude here, maybe a photo underneath. I know some of the other tools have it, but what we've done there is, so there's your day 1, which is this bit here. Oops, wrong one. And then what we've done then, you put your text in, we've just made that bold, keep it simple. The one thing that has sprung to mind when I was inputting all this, you got breakfast, lunch and dinner. I think we need a key for it because it's quite an important element, and it took me a while to realise what BLD was, especially when I just saw D or B and I was sat there going, well, what's what, you know? To upload an image, it's there on the right. You'd have one there. You can add a photo if you haven't got one, just to make it interesting. But what we've done for some of them is when they do have maybe 2 altitudes, because it's split throughout the day, we just go in here, and what we'll do is where's the image? Insert image. Add media, silly me. And we just pull one in. Gets pulled in. And then what you can do, if you wanted to, you can either shrink it down like that, or you can actually full size or whatever, link it to a web page, or whatever you want. Let me get out of that and delete that. Now this is the itinerary, and the way we've done the essential information is exactly the same way. So essential information, title, text, add an image. I'll have to have a chat with you about these because there's a lot of, I think all this needs cleaning up on another video. So on the key place, essential info, here it is, exactly the same. All the information's there. Okay, so key places, because it's just text based, there, we set key places to be a text field. So you can make this bigger. Just write whatever you want in there. Accommodation. So we've got the different types of accommodation. Here we are. So everything's there. We've got traditional here. Traditional, comfortable, premium. If you need others, you know, just let us know. And there's the text. And if you want to add images, you could do it. Accommodation highlights. So we can add a row. Put test 1. Okay, maybe that's not the best way of doing that. I don't want to return. Oh, computers, eh? Right, add an image. Do we pick Sam again? No, we'll pick someone else. There we are. I don't need to add another row. Accommodation photos. So if we have a look here, we haven't got any in Uzbekistan. We probably haven't got any on any of them at the moment, I'd say. If I do go to Uzbekistan, pick a couple of photo gallery ones. If you notice, I selected multiple, so you can select one and it'll insert it. But nice little feature with this, if I add all those, it populates the whole lot. And that saves a lot of time. So if I update that and refresh, we've got accommodation photos, the highlights. You might have a spa, picture of a, you know, like a natural spa, and then put information in about it. So the accommodation page will look much nicer. And we can always make it, you know, more comprehensive again. Keep that. Right, these ones, we need to get rid of them. Just double click them. You could click that and then remove, but it's just easier to double click them all. There we are. And then do the same here. And that should be fine. We can update that. Okay, now we've gone through the images. Which are these here? Oh, come on. Which are these here? All the way down. Forget those revisions. Again, it comes back up to here. You don't need revisions. You don't need the author. Yeah, I think the rest will do for now. We'll keep that as it is. Just make things a little bit easier for you. There we are. Now, videos, you can just upload the videos. So we got one from YouTube. We paste it in there. Redspokes YouTube. There we are. If I copy the link to that. What I'll do, I'll plonk that in there. There we go. We can upload that, and that will add to the website. I'm not going to save it. And that would actually show as videos tab at the side. Oops, wrong one. Right, so when it comes to, I'm going to skip upgrades for the moment. All these are when we come to the phase 2 of doing the back end, when you actually get the booking system in place. we'll have it so that you can basically select, I don't know, well, you can create, say for example, there's going to be a hotel upgrade or single supper month, for example, and it's going to be an extra £500, yeah? You can add that. Say for example, someone wants to, eat, or stay an extra day. It might be another £250, and that's it. And then when you save it, when it comes to booking, all this will be there, and they'll be able to select it when they actually go through the booking process. But we haven't done that part yet. We're trying to get all this sorted first, but when it comes together with the old system and the new system, when you actually go to book, the upgrades will be really good. Cross-selling. So here you can add a tour. You can go, I don't know, Cambodia, North, to Vietnam, update that, for example, and what'll happen then is right at the very bottom of the page, similar cycling holidays, so you can cross-sell them. So say for example you're in Vietnam, north to south, you can advertise south to north. You can advertise the Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam. You can basically customize this per tour, and it's really, really good at cross-selling, other tours that customers might be interested in. Maybe there's, the Karakoram Highway is not an easy one, so you might want to put really difficult ones in here as opposed to easy ones. So the choice is all yours. Right. That pretty much covers the tours. I'm not going to go through Yoast or anything like that. We don't need to do that. This is just for you to edit what you need to. So that's the cycling holidays. If you want to create a new cycling holiday, just go up here, add a new cycling holiday. And you just create one. You start from scratch. It's as simple as that. Okay. And everything's on one page. You haven't got to go to another page, then another and another. Right, so for the upgrades, let's leave that. Yes. So say for example, we've got the extra day. Rather than create a new one, I'll open it. Someone wants to stay an extra day in, I don't know, Cambodia. No, actually, you don't need to do that. You just need the extra day. Extra end of trip. Ooh, should we go capitals? So you could have text is there. Right. So we can categorize them. So this is for specific to cycling holidays. You can tag it to go in there. I'm not going to go too much about the categories. It's just great for grouping things together. Don't worry about the featured image. I'll speak to Lee about disabling stuff like that. You don't really need it at this point in time. Right, so you can select an icon. So if you want to stay an extra day, you might have a hotel. We got one? Here you are. Extra day afterwards, or luxury. If you want to go holiday. We go holiday. No, try beach. There we are. You might use that instead. But you can make as many as you want. You can have a generic. I would generally work with a generic one, so that when you do add extras into the trip, an extra day at the end of the trip or an extra day at the start of the trip. The start of the trip might be a relaxing one, but the end of the trip might be the hotel. Or is it bed? I'll put a bed there. Don't want bed bugs. Yeah, so I save that. And then when it comes to working on a tour and adding extras onto it, you can just add as many as you want. If you've got one in particular, say for example, this is specific to every tour, great. But if you've got one that is, I don't know, maybe it's Uzbekistan, and it's unique to that particular one. You know, just put you know, just put the details in, or put, you know, in brackets, so you can identify that it's different to the others when you actually type in end of or extra day or whatever, when you go and select it in the actual tour itself. So do that. Right, so countries, you don't need to worry about this at the moment, but if you do decide to add a new country, in order to create a new tour, you've got to create the country first, and then these get shown, obviously, up here. So we've got e-bike tours and whatnot. If I click that one. So you can go in here and you can customize it exactly the same. Let's give it a Yoast. Don't need that for a minute. So everything's in here, starting price from, so where we go back to here, starting price from, you know, 12 nights and everything else. No, it's the next one up again. Yeah, you won't see that, but basically you'll have all the settings in here. It's pretty straightforward. What one's that e-bike? Is there? So there's the text for it and everything. You know, there's the featured text then, which is this one here. So it's pretty straightforward to work on. I won't go into media because that basically is the library of images. Right, so for the website, have we got it in the our blog? There we are. So we've got 2 blog articles here. It's basically an article to read. You know, it's you don't really build it as such. You can, but yeah, this one was a blog article. Posts. So these are classed as posts. Don't know why they don't call them blog articles. Let's click that one. So we've just put the text in. You can add the image for the PDF. In fact, it's probably easier for me to click that one and go edit page. Dermot, you need to get yourself on a new server. Ionos are a pain. It's not working. Okay, I'm going to scrap that. That was a bad plan. Okay, so oh, testimonials. This is a good one. We need to hide comments. We don't want any comments. Right, so testimonial. I'm going to show an existing one. You can call it whatever you want. Let's go up here. What was that again? Vietnam. Northeast. Here we go. So we've got everything here, and then we've got the testimonials. It's called, you know, that is the title of it, but, you know, ideally we should have something like, you know, what a fabulous tour, must go again, you know, something catchy. So that's the title there, that's the text. What on earth is that doing that? The featured image. And what's the star rating? Ooh, should we have that? No, I'll put a 5-star, of course. Customer's name, if you wanted to put their email in, you could, but we tend to not recommend it. If they came from a company, say for example, there was 5 people from a company, you know, you could put maybe the government on there. I mean, Dermot would love to have Mr. Starmer going money. Or even better, HMRC. Anyway, but really, that's the only field that you need, you know. I'm going to speak to Lee about it because I wouldn't mind actually having a location one separate, and we have done it in past for other customers. Discussion comments, right? Okay, so what we'll do here, just to make life a little bit easier for you, discussion comments can go. Yeah, that'll do for now. There we are. So yeah, so that's all you need. If you've got a specific order that you want them in, start with 0. Well, they all save a 0, but you can go -10 if you want it towards the top. If you want to organise them all, you can have it from, we tend to go 10, then the second one we tend to go 20. So if we need to slot one in between, we can then go 15, you know. But don't worry about this. I don't think it really makes much difference if there's what order they're in, and if anything, if you want one to be at the very top, just set it like that. Okay. Don't worry about contact forms. We might hide that from you because it's really, really like delicate, because it's, let me just show you the inquiry page for the tour. It is complex, okay? So we've got to hide that from you. Okay, that'll do for now. That'll get you going. And what we'll do is say, if it's sick, you want to edit the home page, just go here. You know, just click edit the page. Come on. Why is not? This is Ionos. It doesn't like too many connections on the database. So that's loading. I will have a look at that, unless it is an actual error. Okay, remember that. We'll have a look at that, but yeah, you should be able to edit the pages. Yeah, that'll keep you busy for a while, and any problems, just give me a shout. Sam, I do need to speak to you about the essential information about the way that things are with ChatGPT. It's only a 5-minute conversation, but you'll get the gist of it. It's just to optimize things and make things looking a lot more professional for the customers, because there's a lot of duplication information there. Right, yo guys, I shall see you on the other side.